Hello and welcome to our regular season debut of On Deck, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B. I got my backstop, my catcher, my Yadier, Crispy Bacon. Looks like he's about ready to fly a plane and go work for the Texas Rangers. One of the two. Chris, how's it going?
Doing good. Opening weekend so far in MLB. It's been good so far. Hopefully that continues.
Yep, and below us, halfway across the world, the I ain't gonna call him Mr. Brewer because somebody's already got that, but the Prime Moose, Tim Hendricks, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad this week has finally got here. We had a lot of big things happen on opening day, so
yeah,
I'm hoping everything keeps going on like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we may be joined by Greg. We may be joined by Coach D. Heck, we might even be joined by Sarge. He was trying to get on earlier and was having some trouble. So who knows who might pop in? But opening day, guys. Tim, I'll start with you. How did the Brewers look the first couple of days? I don't know. Did they play yesterday or
no? We had the day off, and after that stupid game that they had on opening day, I think we needed the day off. We already and the funny thing is we've already lost the player for 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury, so that's a great start. We also had the first ball due to pitch count or due to the pitch count clock. So yeah, we could have done better.
Yeah, and speaking of Mr. G, Greg, how you doing, bud?
Oh, doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Welcome to the opening day of On Deck regular season. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I just wish that the weather would clear up over here. It's just
tell me about it. We just got snow and rain last night, so
yeah. They keep saying spring's coming, but I haven't seen it yet, buddy.
All right, we're gonna make Tim cringe a little bit. Greg, how's your Cardinals doing the opening day?
My Cardinals, their offense wasn't bad. Their defense wasn't great. Gave up a lot of runs, scored quite a few runs. I think there was about 19 runs or so scored in that game total. But we're making good contact, but our pitching's a little suspect right now. But yeah, we dropped a barn burner, against the Blue Jays opening day. But I don't know. I think we got a lot of good things to look forward to.
How what's the update on Contreras, the catcher?
I haven't really followed that. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, with him right now.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what our star rookie Jordan Walker can do this year.
Okay. Well, and we know Adam Wainwright, if once he's done playing baseball, he might go into a singing career. I mean, he sang the national anthem on opening day, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah. So right now, I'm just reading. They said it was a left ankle. So we'll see what happens. I don't see no updates, Secretary. Chris.
Yeah.
Are you worried about the Grom? How's your Rangers looking after day one?
Well, I mean, our first game, it was a shaky start. We had the roof open. I don't know if it's karma or something like that. I don't know. And then rain came and we had to close the roof. And then all of a sudden, Rangers, came back from behind and pulled out the victory. I guess he looked okay. I know we talked about having him on a pitch count. Maybe that was too few, too less of a pitch.
DeGrom got lit up.
Yeah,
I'm
it looked
sorry.
like
I know it's
fireworks
only
on
one
4th of July.
start.
That was bad.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen the DeGrom. I'm going to find where's the Rangers at here? I had it pulled up and backed out on accident. I wanted to see his. I don't think I've ever seen the DeGrom pitching line like this.
He had like 76 pitches.
Well, yeah, but he only went 3 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. I don't think I've ever seen a DeGrom stat line like that. So, but yeah, you said they came back, won, so that's good for them. My Twins, game 1, I think it was a 2-0 shutout, a 2-hitter, I believe. Pull up the line here. Box score. Yeah, a 2-hitter. Nothing exciting. Larnach was 2 for 4. Buxton was 2 for 5. Buxton got triple. The guy's got some speed. Lopez, opening day starter, 5 in the third. Gave up the only 2 hits, walked 3, but struck out 8. And after that, the bullpen came in and shut him down. So Twins are on pace to be 162-0, go to the World Series, sweep it all, and we call it a day. But no, we all know I'm kidding. So
They'll probably go 2-0 after today, though.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Judge started off 2023 with a bang. First at bat home run. So guys, I know we kind of talked about it. Greg. What do you expect from Judge this year? Encore season.
I'm not quite expecting, a back-to-back 60-plus home run season this year. I'm thinking he'll probably finish probably closer to like 52 to 54 home runs this season. I still think it's going to be an outstanding season, but I think that to back that up and go back-to-back, I think last year was just one of those miraculous seasons, and I think it's going to be hard to duplicate that kind of success.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's going to be tough. I think he might start off hot, and then they'll start doing the old Barry Bonds, walk here and the walk there, especially with guys on. He'll probably have a lot of solo shots, but I don't think he's going to have too many home runs.
Yeah, and then those guys can stay in the lineup behind him. He might get some good pitches to look at. If not, if they throw in some of their scrubs, or Stanton and some of those guys are hurt or taking the day off, I don't think he'll see much.
Nope, I totally agree. Tim, what do you think of his opening day line?
You can't argue with that line. You really can't. I think we talked about it last week. I think they're going to get to a point where they may do the Barry Bonds thing and walk him more often. But like Greg said, if you keep the insurance policies in front of him and behind him, he's going to get pitches.
Yep, Chris, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounded good, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to do back to back like he did. What he did last year, this year. I know.
Yeah.
It's possible, but it's hard to do.
No, it is definitely hard to do, and I think he's gonna have if he gets close to 60, he's gonna have to do it at the beginning of the year because I think once it comes down to crunch time, they're gonna start pitching around him, and we saw in the Twins game at least, there's a modified shift coming out where teams are gonna move their left fielder to play right short, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. Center fielder go play left center, and then the right fielder go play right center. So, guys, teams are getting around the shift. Tim, what do you think?
Well, the rule says you have to have 4 infielders on the dirt. They didn't say where you had to put your outfielders.
Yep.
You see this in slow pitch softball where you got the rover and the rover goes everywhere. I think eventually you're going to see more teams do what happened in the Twins game. You're going to start playing that left fielder just about everywhere. Again, you got to start learning to hit them where they're not. It's just that simple.
Yep, Greg.
Well, I said last season that I'm not really a big fan of changing the rules, and on the shift, because I feel like, everybody in the major leagues now, I think, is making at least $1 million. So $1 million athletes should be able to spray the ball wherever they want. If the third base line is open, if there's a big gaping hole, in between first and second or down the third base line, someone should learn how to make contact and go that way. That's how I feel. I don't feel like, but the NBA did this, taking away the zone defense and having like defensive 3 in the key and all this stuff, because they wanted more one-on-one, they wanted more points and stuff. So, I kind of like the old school college game and the college rules where everything's just basically you either get it done or you don't. So I think that Tim's right. You got to be able to spray the ball wherever there's an open spot.
Chris. Oh, sorry, D. You good?
Yeah, everybody knows. I'm pretty much calling this the Joey Gallo rule, because he's the one pitching and moaning the whole time. Like, how come my batting average is 150? Everybody just plays in right field for me. Well, put the ball to right field then. Yep.
No, totally. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, it's interesting. All these rules are interesting in a way because, we've had certain rules for so long, and fans have gotten used to it, players have gotten used to it, so it's going to be hard to transition to something else. But I mean, players can find a work around it. So,
well, yeah, old school guys. I mean, we brought it up: Boggs, Gwynn, Will Clark. I mean, some of the great hitters back then: Tony Oliva, Rock Crew. You give them a hole, they're going to find it. And Gallo, for one, he's going to have to do something. I mean, you're probably going to lose some power, but, you bloop one right over the third baseman's head with that shift, he's going to get a double easily. I know the guy's not quick, but you got to be quicker than a left field or a center fielder that's playing center or left center. So he should be, just bloop it over. So got to beat it. I know a couple pitchers. I don't know, maybe more, but I think Cranky and Ohtani were calling their own pitches with that little new smart watch they got, or whatever you want to think of it.
The PitchCom, I think it's called.
Yeah. So, Greg, what do you think about pitchers calling their own pitches that way?
I don't really have a problem with pitchers calling their own pitches. I think that there's been so much going on in baseball where other teams are trying to steal pitches and stuff like that. I think it's a good idea sometimes for pitchers to just kind of call whatever they're feeling, and sometimes, and it's always the pitcher's discretion too. If a catcher wants a curveball, but the pitcher's not feeling it, he might wave it off until he gets a new line. So I think it might speed up the game, just like Major League Baseball apparently is wanting. That way you don't have to constantly shake off the catcher if you don't like what you're seeing. So I don't really have a problem with pitchers calling their own pitches. I think that they should basically just go out there and throw what they feel like they can get an out with.
Tim?
Yeah, I don't mind it either. That it kind of reminds me of the old school days in the NFL where the quarterback was calling their own plays.
Yep.
And to me, I like it. I think what it tells you is that your pitchers that are calling their own pitches are doing their homework for the rosters and the lineups that they're going to face on the day that they're going to face it. And it also tells you if they can that they understand which pitch is working, because they're really paying attention to what's going on, who's biting on what pitch, who's not biting on that pitch, I think it's a lot. It makes it faster because you're not shaking off as much, because you're pitching. You'd be shaking yourself off. Yep. I think I like it because of the homework that they do. I think more pitchers should be able to call their own pitches. It just tells you what type of pitchers they are. That they're a student of the game. I like it. I honestly really, really like it.
Chris, how about you? I know you're
Hmm.
little new school compared to us older guys. So what do you think?
No, I like it. I mean, with the new pitch clock situation, it as the pitcher, they don't have to use the signals. It's just quicker, I think. And
Yeah.
like you guys said, they kind of did their homework and probably helped the team out.
Well, and that's the thing too. I'm fine with it too. Like you guys said, pitchers. If they don't want to pitch a pitch, they'll shake off a catcher. Now they choose their own pitch and they change it. It's on them. The one thing it'll eliminate is people stealing the sign from second base and trying to tip the pitch. So that's one thing it'll eliminate.
Unless they got a hacker that can hack into their.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be the next thing. So,
Probably.
what they're gonna get at? Not DeGrom. Verlander didn't make the opening day start on the IR. So Tim, I mean, we talked about that being a good matchup. Him versus I forgot who the opening day starter was for the other team. But how's that going to affect the Mets there, Tim?
They already have their pitching is already in trouble with the kid that got hurt in the World Baseball Classic.
Diaz. Yep.
Yeah, Diaz sucks because I had him on my fantasy baseball team and I was all ready to start him. But he's what, 40, 41?
Yeah.
He's only going to miss one. If anything, you think he's only going to miss one more start. I don't think it's going to really hurt. I don't think it hurts the Mets in the long run. It might not make some Met fans happy because they wanted to see Verlander. You've got all year to see Verlander. So I don't think it really hurts the Mets, just the Mets fans, like Dirk.
Yeah, Greg, what do you think?
I think that right now the Mets lineup has enough offensive pop to kind of get them through a few injuries within their pitching staff. I know that the Diaz injury is going to hurt quite a bit, but they seem to have enough decent kind of relief right now to maybe put a patch on things. I think that Verlander being out of the starting rotation may hurt a little bit, but I think that in some of these matchups against some of these lesser teams like the Pirates, the Reds, some of these teams coming up in these stretches, I think that they'll be just fine. They got enough offensive power to make up for a little bit of lack of pitching right now. I think that it was a pretty big risk to put two starting pitchers that are now pushing 40 or in their early 40s, into their rotation, because they're probably going to be dealing with a lot of little strains, calf strains, hamstring issues and stuff throughout the season. So I think that they'll be okay. I don't think they're going to light the world on fire this year, but I think that they'll put up some good numbers. I think that they'll probably make the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, we won't let Dirk know that you said the Mets are going to light the world on fire, because we know how he'll get. Chris, what do you think? Verlander hit the IR first.
Yeah. I mean, like you guys said, there's a whole season to play, and you're going to have plenty of chances to see him. I don't.
It's going to be one of those things. I know, some people are kind of up in arms right now, but it's 1-2 starts maybe that he'll miss, but it's a long season. We know baseball's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Sarge chimed in earlier, just wants to say, what do you think of the speed of the game? I think spring training, I think they said half hour ish knocked off. So Greg, what do you think about the pitch clock and all the speed up of the game?
I'm kind of resistant to change, but I think, I understand about the pitch clock. I know that it can take a long time between pitches sometimes, and the batter getting out of the box and, kind of messing with their batting gloves and all this stuff. I understand they're trying to speed it up and try to avoid a lot of this stuff, them grabbing their crotch and all this stuff in between at bats and everything. So I don't mind the pitch clock. It seems like most of the teams and most of the pitchers have adjusted to it. I just think that overall, though, the speed of the game is going to kill a lot of like concessions and stuff. If you're taking away half an hour, 45 minutes in a game, that's a half hour, 45 minutes that some of these concession workers and businesses and stuff within the stadium could be making money. So that's going to cut into some of their profits and some of the overall revenue. But, this is what Major League Baseball wanted. And I think that overall it's going to be good if people want to just be able to go to a game maybe on a Wednesday or something and not be out till like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night.
Yeah. Tim, how about you?
Well, the Brewers game went 2 hours and 22 minutes. I don't know why I made that. Why I remembered that. But like Greg said, it'll hurt in the stadium. It's gonna. When you're in the stadium, you want that thing to go as long as you can because it's your little respite, it's your little vacation from the real world. But it's to me, it's nice when you're at home and you're drinking your own beer, where it's quick, where you don't have to basically kill your evening. Now, if they can lower the prices on the tickets for the good tickets
and the concessions,
yeah, and make it and put it in the concessions and do everything else. I think it'd be a wonderful idea, but I don't mind it. It's quick. I can go to bed earlier because instead of me waiting until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock for the game to be over, I can go to bed as soon as the game is over. Yeah. I can breathe because the game for me on Thursday started at 20 after 8. And then so I got done and it was 10:42 and I can actually kind of unwind instead of trying to go to sleep at 11 o'clock. To me, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm a little selfish.
Yeah. So Chris, what do you think?
No, I like the speed of the game. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm always good for a long game. I mean, maybe as a player it wasn't so much fun, but yeah, I mean,
it helps out a lot, though. I mean,
yeah,
in a way,
but it does cut down, like Greg said, and adjusting your batting. I mean, who was it? Nomar adjusts his batting gloves after every at bat or every pitch, and so I was just looking at some times here, and I think the the Blue Jays Cardinals game was the longest at 3.5 hours, I think, as I'm looking here. Yeah, almost 3 hours and 40 minutes. So let's get into something we talked about last night or early this morning on Four Bros. The Oakland A's attendance. A
lot of people showed up.
A lot of people showed up to see Ohtani. I mean, I know there was a comment made that Ohtani's, the best generation two-way player since Babe Ruth. Which, granted, if you're only considering two people, I mean, that's okay. To me, I don't think Babe Ruth was a traditional two-way player because he did bat first for most of his career and then went to pitching and then kind of did it both. Okay, Tim, you shake your head. How was it?
He was a pitcher first when he was with the Orioles.
Okay.
And then they made him into an outfielder. No.
Okay.
But he batted later in his career. When he left the Orioles and moved him, he got bought by the Yankees. Yeah. They made him a batter.
Okay. So he started off as a pitcher, but he didn't do both at the same time that much. Not like Ohtani.
No, Ohtani does. I think Ohtani does more than I think Babe Ruth did.
Yeah, he's in the lineup, I think, almost every game.
Yeah.
So, but the attendance at Oakland to watch Ohtani pitch was 26,805. It was 76% full. So, Greg, we know Oakland's having trouble there. So what do you think the turnout for Ohtani was?
Well, as dismal of a season that the A's are probably going to be in for this year, that was kind of like a bread and butter ticket for them. So that was really good. That was a really good draw for them. to show up for Otani. It's kind of like the NBA where you might have a really bad team, but if Kobe Bryant's coming to town, you might have a sellout, or you might have, and that's why a lot of these prices are inflated based on what stars are coming into your arena too. But I think that Oakland is going to have a lot of problems this year, getting any kind of attendance for teams that really don't have much. So say if the Brewers are coming to town and they don't have a whole lot of superstar power, the Reds are coming into town, they're not really working with much. I don't see a lot of I don't see them breaking, too much over like 16,000 fans, if that, for those kind of games. So when you do have like a Trout and a Otani, and some big time superstars like Judge and the Yankees, or one of the premier players in the league, I think it'll be good for the A's to maybe generate, because I don't really see them generate. I think they're probably going to have one of the lowest attendance records recorded this year. So I think the only time they're going to probably get decent attendance is when like Otani and Judge and maybe the Astros or somebody shows up. So I think that Oakland is probably, sadly, because I like the A's, but I think that they're going to be finding a new home, sooner than later.
Oh yeah, Vegas is calling. So Tim, I mean, me, you, and Greg grew up with Oakland being popular.
Hey guys, I want to
to
thank you for having me on the show today, but I need to cut it short. Today I got a few things I need to take care of right now. So
we'll see you next week, Greg.
All right, thank you.
So, all right, Tim. Oakland attendance. What do you think?
Gosh, this is the funny thing is I've been and I'm gonna. Oakland really needs to heed the warning of the Tampa Bay Rays back in the early 2000s and let's say this, the Florida Marlins, back when they couldn't get it, they couldn't do anything, they couldn't put butts in the seats. Problem is, Miami had good. They had great players. They just didn't put butts in the seats. They didn't start putting butts in the seats until they got a new stadium. Tampa just put a better product on the field. Tampa homegrown their people, and they put a better product on the field. Problem is, Oakland doesn't have a better product. Oakland's not going to get a better product. Oakland lets their players go out everywhere else if they grow them up. And funny thing is, on opening day, I watched Moneyball, which was really funny. And the Billy Bean experiment is over in Oakland. You need, and Greg's right. The only way they're going to put butts in the seats, and it's going to be 75% visiting team fans coming in, because they only get to see the Yankees every once in a blue moon, the Dodgers once in a blue moon, the Angels with Otani and Trout, with the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros, the Padres. So, like Greg said, sooner or later, the A's are going to be gone. And I'm thinking it's more sooner than later.
Yeah. I think this. I know they said they've been talking with Vegas as one of the teams. They're talking about moving. I think Oakland's going to Vegas.
I think 2025 Vegas is going to have the A's.
Oh, I think it's going to be that. Just kidding. So Chris, I mean, you didn't grow up with, Oakland being the Oakland A's. You grew up Oakland being this minor league team, I guess. I don't know. So
somewhat of a minor league, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think they're going to move to Vegas, which it's becoming a very popular spot for sports teams and sports events, wrestling and other stuff. But it's going to be interesting when they move, how many fans will be in attendance.
Yeah. Like I think Tim's kind of nailed it. You gotta get a good team. You gotta get a new stadium to help out. I mean, it's 35,000. I mean, yeah. So, but let's move into. Let's got some early games here. Let's talk about the White Sox versus the Astros. So far, they split the first 2 games. And then we got the Blue Jays Cardinals. Blue Jays 1-0, Cardinals 0-1. And then the Brewers and Cubs kick off here in about a half hour. So, Tim, your team's playing. What do you look for a rebound game here?
We can't have our pitcher get his first strikeout in the 3rd inning. You just can't do that because that's what happened to Burns. Because Burns got his first strikeout in the 3rd inning, and then if you look at the stat line, the box score for that entire game, we gave up 4 runs in that 3rd inning. So we can't have that. And to be honest, the Cubs aren't that good. I don't care if they got Cody Bellinger. I don't care if they do have Eric Hosmer or Nico Horner or whoever they've got. I couldn't even tell you who's going on the mound. In my luck, it's probably Kyle.
Right now, I'm looking. It's Woodruff versus Steele.
We should win that. We should win that game by 3 runs.
Okay.
Keyword.
Chris, you guys are kicking off.
Right, I wish.
Yeah.
We get the big.
Chris,
We get the big network.
yeah, Chris, you guys are on Fox at 3:00 Central Time.
Mhm.
The Rangers are going to go Wheeler versus Philly's throwing out Wheeler, and the Rangers are throwing out Valdez.
Oh yeah.
That's right. You guys got Evaldi, don't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what do you think game 2 for the Rangers is going to be like?
Hopefully, it's something similar to game 1. I mean, maybe, be in front first, but something similar than last game.
Yeah. Yeah, don't make it a comeback.
Mhm.
And then the Twins also kick off first pitch 3:10 Central Time. Twins have Sonny Gray, who I thought was going to be the opening day starter.
I thought he would too.
Versus Lyles, Jay Lyles, Lyles. For me, hopefully Kepler can get off his 0 for 5. I know it's early, but you got some guys. Gallo, hopefully, can figure out how to hit against the shift. I know it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Outside of that, get the bats going, get the pitching going. I know Baldelli, Rocco said that he wants his pitchers to start going more 6-7 innings like old school. So we'll see where the pitch count lies and how that goes. But so let's see who else here. Padres. I was going to bring them up. 0-2 to start the season against the Rockies.
Oh,
Are the
wow.
Rockies good or the Padres just not with it right now, Tim?
I did say the Rockies were going to be my surprise team. I didn't think it was going to be in the first 2 days.
Well, CJ Crone, former Brewer, and no, not Brewer.
Who?
Crone. He was a Ray, wasn't he? Ray and Twin, first baseman. CJ Crone. He played for the Rays and Twins.
Yeah, he wasn't a Brewer. I think he was a Ray.
Yeah, 2 home runs, batting .714 with 5 RBIs to start the season. MVP numbers sounds like, but yeah. So what's up? Rays good, Padres bad, or what's up, Tim?
I think
I think it's early.
I'm not writing out the Padres this quick. Here we go. I'm going to say it now. Padres are going to 162. No.
Yeah.
At this point, the Padres could go 160-2 at this point. I'd like to think that the Colorado Rockies are believing their own hype at this point. It's nice. It's nice to see that the Padres have some chinks in their armor.
Yep.
That they're not as great as they are. Maybe they're a team full of individuals and not a team full of team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, what do you think? Cadres. Wow, Colorado. Legit. I mean, I know it's only 2 games in. Padres, just not ready right now. What do you think?
I think it's early. I mean, two games in, it's way too early.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know they got to. I'm trying to look to see who the starter was game 1 for the Padres. That was Shell. He went 4. So they got to him quite early. And then who started? Did Darvish start yesterday?
You probably. I can't remember.
No, it was Martinez. So
Is Darvish
he
pitching?
went 7 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. So they got to him.
They pretty much peppered him early.
Yeah, they got 2 in the first and 2 in the fifth. But
yeah, at this point, it just sounds like their offense isn't on track for anything.
Yeah, 5 hits game 2. And then
that sounds like
7 hits. So they got 12 hits and 2 runs or 3 runs. So no, it's early. I was just kind of looking at it. Chris, your long shots here are 0 for 2 right now. I mean, the Nationals and the Royals. Are you worried about that World Series bet? No, I'm just kidding. I'm
like, wait, what?
It's early.
It's early. It's early, but I don't know.
All right, Tim, why don't you give us some Prime 5 so I don't forget?
So you don't forget. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm glad I did the homework today. So, we're talking second or third day of opening day for everybody and opening weekend for most teams. So I figured I'd go top 5 opening day performances of all time.
There you go.
And I've already bored Crispy Bacon. That's cool.
No, you didn't.
late night because Crispy's a working man.
There you go.
Working man's bacon. So I decided to do opening day top 5 opening day performances of all time.
Okay.
So I started with my number 5. I started with the kid that Adley Reichman from the 2023 Baltimore Orioles went 5 for 5 with a home run, got on base, he walked. He's the first, and with 4 RBIs, he's the first catcher to get on base safely 6 times and go 5 for 5 with a home run, and with 4 RBIs.
On opening day or ever?
I'm not sure. I know it's opening day.
Okay.
But it might be ever at this point because we know catchers there's some great catchers out there, but 5 for 5 with a home run and getting on base 6 times. And that helped the Orioles win that game 10-9 against the Red Sox, which to me is happy because it was the Red Sox. Anytime you beat the Red Sox is a great day. Number 4, Clayton Kershaw for the 2013 LA Dodgers against the Giants went 9 innings. Already, it's tough to do because it's 9 innings in an opening day game. But he threw 4. He had a 4-hitter with no runs, no walks, and 7 Ks, and hit a home run at the plate.
Who was that?
And had Kershaw.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Again, and the Dodgers won the game 4-0 against the San Francisco Giants. Then we had my number 3 was Kurt Gibson for the 84 Detroit Tigers against the Red Sox. It seems like there's a theme today with the Red Sox. He went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs to help the Tigers beat the Red Sox 6-5. Then I went with number 2. I went with Dmitry Young of the 2005 Detroit Tigers. He went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs. He was hit by a pitch because they didn't want to see him hit a 4th home run, obviously.
Yeah.
And then had 5 RBIs as the Tigers beat the Royals 11-2. And the biggest stat, and when I saw this had to be the number 1. Bob Feller from the 1940 Cleveland Indians. That's a name I can get behind. It's the Cleveland Indians.
Yes.
Went 9 innings, no hits, no runs, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. The only person to ever no hit on opening day.
Nice. I was wondering if there was a no-hitter on opening day. I mean,
Bob Feller did it
back then. So, definitely like the Prime 5. So I'm just looking at some news here, see if there's any breaking news. Chris, you got anything you want to throw out there? Opening last couple days you saw that you want to talk about?
I think they talked about one of the games. I can't remember, and I think it was the second day that there's 21 stolen bases and I think 14 clock violations on opening day.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that on Four Bros that MLB's come out and said that they're going to be stricter early in the season on these clock violations, which is fine with me. And, I think a pitcher can only throw over twice to the first, and if they throw over a third time, they better get them out or they get awarded second base. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm a speedster, I'm going to make them throw over twice, and that third time, I'm going to take an extra big lead and try to entice them. I think maybe not this year, but I think maybe in the following years, we can see stolen bases going back up. So, Tim, what do you think?
Did you see that game? I think we're getting more stolen bases. I think it's a good idea. Did you by chance see that game? I can't remember which game it was, and I want it where the guy was. I think they popped it up for a foul ball, and the guy took forever. Basically, walked back from second to first, and they gave the strike to the batter because he took too long going.
Oh, really? No, I did not see that. Okay.
And I can't remember which game it was, and I saw it, and I'm like, really? That's a rule? I never knew that was a rule, and it must be part of that new rules.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to speed up the game a little bit.
I saw it. It was like, what was it? I was watching SportsCenter, and it was the funny thing is they were making the comment about that rule where you can only throw over twice, and it was one of the speedsters. I can't remember who it was. He was like, okay, I'm going to force him to throw over twice, and I'm taking off. Taking off. He would have taken second if he hadn't tripped. That's how bad it was. He was in such a hurry to go from first to second that he tripped. But I think you're right. I think with the bases being bigger, I think with that you can only throw over two times before you either get them out or it's a balk. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to put more offense on the base paths. I think that's what it's built for.
Yeah, Chris, how about you? What do you think?
It is an interesting rule. All of these are interesting, but yeah, bigger bases and all these, little rules within the rules kind of make it difficult.
Yeah. I was just watching a highlight because I was going to bring it up in the Oakland game. The right fielder, I don't know the name, but made a no-look grab, tracking down a fly ball. I mean, that
guy played for Milwaukee. He was part of that stupid trade.
Yeah, so right now we already got one web gem of the year.
But that like this.
Yeah. So going back to stolen bases, yeah. If I'm a speedster, I'm enticing. I'm going to get you to throw over twice, and then I'm going to take off that third time.
Think if Ricky Henderson and Vince Coleman and Deion Sanders played with this rule. The stolen base record is going to be in the 200s.
Yeah, I can see that. If not, they would get 100 legit stolen bases than 100 bases where they get because they didn't get caught. I mean, I don't know, but so I want to get into a little serious topic here. We got about 10 minutes left.
Male pattern baldness. We're talking about male pattern baldness, right?
Yeah. No, there was a little incident. Player, and a fan in the Athletic Angels game. I didn't see what the game was, but
was it Isaiah?
No, it was it was Rincon and Anthony Rincon, and a fan. I guess Anthony got upset because he called him a name. He went over there, grabbed him. Names were shouted back to each other. Tim, we're old school. I mean, what do you think? I mean, who's at fault? I mean, both at fault. I mean,
yeah. I'm going to ask Bacon. Bacon, you were around when they had the Malice at the Palace, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, then he's qualified. I you're paid for the name on the front of your shirt. You're on the front of your jersey. You're not named by the. You're not getting paid because of the name on the back.
Yeah.
You're a representative for the organization. With that being said, fans have to conduct themselves if they were going to do that in front of their mother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you don't play that. Just because you paid your ticket doesn't mean you get to box Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen.
But it also depends on what he said, though.
I'm not gonna repeat what was said. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay, well then it's enough. That's where, you know what I tell the guy? I said, I get out of the locker room at such and such time. Meet me outside.
yeah, meet him in the parking lot. So.
Exactly.
Because I mean,
and then stomp a mud hole in him.
Yeah. So, Chris, what do you think? I mean, the player at fault. I mean, the player's probably more at fault than the fan. I mean, the fan.
Bacon's taking a swing. What are you talking about? Bacon's a player. He's taking a swing at the guy.
He's going to drop the bacon flop on him.
Yeah. Right.
So, what do you think, Chris?
I think it's more of the player at fault. Initially, because you kind of instigated the whole thing. You called him a name or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's also on the fan too, because he reacted to it.
Yep. So yeah, I think it's I mean, I ain't gonna say it's 50-50 because we all know fans will say stuff just to kind of get underneath their skin. What was said, what's believed to be said is on the fan. I mean, go out there and heckle them. That's fine.
I can honestly say that I've been to a game and I've been a bad person. I can honestly say that. I went to a Rays Blue Jays game, and I don't recommend this to people, but Reed Johnson played for the Toronto Blue Jays a long time ago. And I don't know how well this is going to fly on our network. But I started shouting Little Johnson from the stands. I proceeded to get the finger thrown at me at the end of every inning.
Nice.
And it's like I got to the point where my whole section was calling him Little Johnson. Little Johnson. Reed Johnson is 5'8". I'm 6 foot tall. So anybody's little to me. But everybody's my dad would make the comment, why are you calling him Little Johnson? Because he's a small guy and his last name is Johnson. Not telling him the real reason why I was calling him Little Johnson.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like that episode of The Simpsons where they had the baseball one and Bart and Lisa are like, Daryl, Daryl. And he's sitting over there, you can see him tearing up. I mean, we're gonna heckle the players. I mean, some could take it and be fun about it. Some get a little bit violent. I remember one of the late 80s, early 90s, I think Canseco kind of got involved with the player or a fan because he was asking, how was Madonna last night or something like that. And he got into it. So, but fans, if you go to a game,
you're bad about it.
play nice, heckle nice. I mean, it's all like Tim said. You bought a ticket for entertainment. You didn't buy the ticket to go and throw pitches and take batting practice off the pitchers. But I just think it's so. As a fan, we just have to be nice. I mean, heckle, yeah. I mean, the players have to understand the visiting teams are going to get heckled. I mean,
they know it. I remember I remember talking to Warren Spahn a long time ago. He was at a card show and we ended up having lunch with him. I said, "What's the worst thing you ever heard from the mound?" Because he pitched for the Braves, so he saw the National League. He said, I would say things to you. I could tell you things that you would be embarrassed from just to hear. And I'm like, I've said a lot of things. No, you would be embarrassed. And they did a lot of stuff back in the 50s, 50s, 60s.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Chris, any final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. baseball continues today and pretty much every day.
Yep. From here on out, it's baseball season. So, Tim, what you got to say?
I'm excited. My wife learned today that baseball is 162 games and not 16 or 18 like the NFL. And she was thoroughly confused. Love her the same anyway. I enjoy WrestleMania. Today's day one. Today's WrestleMania weekend. Again, should be a national holiday and kids should be out of school. Oh wait, it's Saturday and Sunday. They are.
Or at least the Sunday part, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. So, like we said, check out Between the Ropes on Tuesday for a recap of WrestleMania, the Hall of Fame, and the 2-day event, national holiday for a lot of you wrestling fans. Opening day weekend still going. We got games today and Sunday, and On Deck will be back next week. Oregon Cougars football starts 21 days from now. Regular season kicks off, so we'll have our show Wednesday in the Cougars Den. I don't know what J-Mac has planned, but hopefully, we'll get some teammates, coaches on there to talk about it, and just keep checking out C2C all week long. We got stuff going on. Me and Tim haven't talked about our topics yet, but C2C Rankin will be coming up on Tuesday, so hopefully we have a good show there. So, with that being said, Chris, thank you. Tim, Big Dog Greg, thanks for joining. And we'll see you next week on Deck. Have a good night.